What is going on, guys? Rob here with Arcade Motorsports. As you can see, the R1 is gone. It ended up selling a few days ago, and I'm going to tell you guys exactly how much money I made on the R1 rebuild. Alright guys, so today's actually Sunday, March 6th. I ended up selling the bike this past Thursday. So the bike performed flawlessly, took it out for a ride. It was fast, smooth, just overall a great experience riding the bike. So let's get into a few details of how much I paid for some of the parts for that R1. So first of all, purchase price of the bike in its wrecked state was $1,070. If you guys remember that from the very first video, I went over that. The gas tank was super smashed up. We had to get a new gas tank. Thankfully, I had a buddy give me one for free. That was outrageous that I was able to get that. If I would have had to purchase that outright, it probably would have been $800 to $900, so we saved a good chunk of change there. Whoops, I apologize for it being so dark. I actually just lost power here at my shop, but we're gonna continue with this. The fairings, thank you for Auctmarts for sponsoring the R1 build. They donated the set of fairings to me for free, so I did not have to have an expense with those. The swing arm for the bike, that was pretty bad. I did have a swing arm from a bike that I did part out previously, so there's no expense right there. The exhaust, ended up getting a Micron exhaust, aftermarket used. That was about $225. Turn signals, about $10 for those. The mirrors for the bike, I did end up putting mirrors on the bike before selling it. Had those on hand here at the shop, so there was no expense for that. Frame sliders, those were about 16 bucks. Miscellaneous parts from Partzilla, it was about $82 for those. It was kind of like just some gaskets, the little side covers, stuff along those lines. Air ducts for the front of the bike, that was $53 for those. Front wheel, pretty big expense, that was about $195. Rear wheel, same thing, $175 for that. Had to get a radiator fan, that was about $22. Clutch cover gasket, that was about $12 for that. The front stay, which holds the front headlight, gauge cluster, all that on the front of the bike, that was about $38. Master link for the chain, that was $17. Grips for the handlebars, that was about 16 bucks. Left clip-on for the handlebars, that was $45 for that. The flywheel and the gasket for that, we did that as preventative maintenance, so that way the bike does not have any issues with the motor down the road. That was about $200. The little bracket for the brake fluid reservoir, that was, our old one was broken, so we had to get a new one. That was $16. The control switch for the left-hand side of the clip-on, that was $24. Left rear set, that was $56 for that. Ended up getting a new kickstand used for $40. Fuel pump, that would have been a big expense, but I did have one on hand, that was free. Same thing with a tank bracket for holding the tank to the subframe, that was free, had that on hand at the shop. Headlight, also had that on hand from a bike that I parted out previously. Spark plugs, 32 bucks for those, just kind of necessary maintenance. Fork seals, about 60 bucks for seals and fluid. Oil and filter, about 50 bucks. And the clutch and brake levers for the bike, those were free. I actually got that with a tank when I got that for free from my buddy. If you guys are keeping track with all that, original purchase price of the bike, $1,070. Total parts amount, $1,384. So that brings our total investment for this bike to $2,454. Now, you guys are probably thinking, I've seen it in the comments, you're like, oh, you're putting all this money into this bike, you're gonna end up selling it for, $3 grand, 3,500 bucks, it's a 2004, you're never gonna get your money back out of that. The reason I'm doing this is because I know what I can get the bike for in the end. I'm not doing this out of my free time just for the hell of it. I ended up selling the bike a few days ago for $6,000. Now, some of you probably aren't gonna believe that. Some of you probably are. I mean, I'm not here to lie to anybody. I sold the bike for $6,000 a few days ago. It's on to its new owner right now. So if we take that $6,000, subtract the $2,454 in parts, that leaves us with a total profit of $3,546. Now, That total, that is my time and labor for this bike. That is a huge amount of time that I spent on this bike. I think I started working on it beginning in January. It took me about 2 months total to get it all finished up. So that is what we have into the bike total. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about that. The total selling price for the bike, if you think that's really high, if I was able to get that, if I was lucky or not. So until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Enjoy some clips from this R1.